money and even account numbers. Some places even used alcohol to buy vote. What are you going to say? What is the commission doing about this?
Well, you know, the remit of the commission is to organize, undertake, and supervise election. The commission does not have its own security outfit. The task of making sure that the electoral environment is protected, that the electoral environment is safe, that the electoral environment is secure, rests with the various security agencies under the leadership and direction of the Nigerian Police Force. Now, under the auspices of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, we've been interfacing and we continue to interface with the EFCC, with the ICPC, and with the other security agencies to make sure that incidents of vote buying are reduced to the minimum. We have also reconfigured the architecture of our polling units to guarantee the secrecy of the vote. Now, during the presidential and the state assembly elections, the EFCC and the ICPC deployed both plainclothes and uniform security personnel to some of the polling units. And as you can see from reports, some people were arrested on account of issue of vote buying, of vote trading. But I believe that ultimately we need an Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal to take charge of the issue of arrest, the issue of investigation and prosecution of electoral offenders. We have to, as a people and as a nation, break the cycle of impunity in this country, because people believe that when they corrupt the electoral process, when they try to bring the electoral process to disrepute through their actions, that there is no consequence, and that's why they persist. So we have to find ways and means of breaking the cycle of impunity in Nigeria. So as an electoral management body, we will keep on improving on the ambience of the polling units by making sure that the secrecy of the vote is guaranteed. And we'll continue to work with the various security agencies in terms of arresting, investigating and prosecuting electoral offenders.
Now, finally, from my side,
yes,
there is a kind of voter apathy or low voter turnout, yes, compared to what we've seen in the presidential elections.
Yes.
What do you think is the reason behind that, and what is INEC doing to see that Nigerians take voting important as a constitutional right?
Well, you know, the conduct of election and the management of election is a multi-stakeholder venture. The political parties have a responsibility to bring out their voters, and also to sensitize and educate their supporters to come out and vote. It is also the business of the electoral management body to conduct civic and voter education, to make sure that people understand our processes and procedures. The civil society groups also have a responsibility, the media have a responsibility, and other critical stakeholders have a responsibility to make sure that we get out the votes. More fundamentally, I think that the task of building a democratic Nigeria is not a 100 meters dash. It requires perseverance, it requires patience, and also it requires tendering. So we must find ways and means of making sure that our people engage more fundamentally with the electoral process. And they can only engage more fundamentally with the electoral process, one, when they see what they call in Nigeria the dividends of democracy. Government must work for them. If government does not work for people, they will not engage the process. Secondly, we must find ways and means of re-engaging Nigerians with the electoral process. And the only way we can re-engage Nigerians with the electoral process is continue to improve on our processes and procedures, and also continue to introduce technology in the electoral process to obviate pernicious human interference in the electoral process. And three, we must also make it possible for people to go to the polling unit, exercise their civic responsibility without any harm befalling them. When people believe that they can go to the polling unit and die, definitely they will avoid the various polling units. And finally, people must be sure that their votes will count and be made to count. When we do all these things, people will, on their own, engage the electoral process without any form of compulsion.
Mr. Okoye, when opposition parties stage a protest to the INEC office in Abuja,
yes,
you were the one who received them and collected a letter from them.
Yes.
And you said your alliance is for the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yes.
What are you doing on that process?
Well, you can see that they complained about what they call the opaque nature of the conduct of the presidential and national assembly election. They complain about deployment processes and procedures, with the governorship and state assembly election, we have learned valuable lessons and we have improved. This time around, our staff, our ad hoc staff, we are waiting for the voters at the polling unit. And it was not the other way around. That is one. Secondly, they complain about the bimodal voter accreditation system in terms of slowness in accreditation.
Transmission.
Slowness in accreditation. This time around, it took little or no effort to accredit voters. And nobody complained that he or she stayed at the polling unit from morning till night. They also complain about upload of results to the INEC result viewing portal. This time around, over 90% of the results have already been uploaded into the INEC result viewing portal. So in terms of improvement, in terms of serving the Nigerian people, in terms of paying attention to the concerns of Nigerians, this commission pays attention because this commission is a public trust and we do not take the patience of Nigerians for granted. We will continue to work for the people of this country, and when we make mistakes, we have the courage to acknowledge that we have made mistakes.
You said one of your staff has been killed.
Yes.
In which state?
I can't give you offhand the state where the staff has been killed, but we are compiling a list of all the places where our staff were abducted, in the places where they were intimidated, and also in the places where one harm or the other befell them. So by tomorrow, we will have a full picture of what has happened to some of our staff in the various states. In fact, one of them we thought died in the process of conducting this election, only for us to find out that she's slightly in a stable condition in one of the hospitals. So by tomorrow, we will harvest all this list, and then we can make them available.
Finally, one of the political parties called me and told me that their logo was not properly used on the ballot paper. What are they going to do on that one?
No. Before the conduct of election, the law makes it mandatory that we must invite representatives of the political parties to come and identify their logo as it will appear on the ballot paper on election day. So that is what the commission does. So in terms of the logo of political parties appearing on the ballot paper, we reflected the logo of all the registered political parties on the ballot paper. In one of the states, we missed the logo of a political party on the ballot paper. And we had to redo that particular election because the logo of every registered political party is supposed to be reflected on the ballot paper. And when we make mistakes, we try to correct the mistakes. But we reflected the logo of every political party contesting this particular election.
Thank you very much, Mr. Festus Okoye.
Thank you so much.